Today's story is called Don't Want to Go. Don't Want to Go, and it's also by Shirley Hughes. And on the front cover here we see a little girl. She has her hat on. You see her hat and her coat. What color are her hat and her coat? Are they blue? What does she have here on her hands? Mittens? And this looks like it might be a special friend of hers. We'll have to find out more about that special friend. This story is then called Don't Want to Go. In the very first picture we have, we can see the little girl again, and she's here with her dad. And her dad is trying to put on her coat. And I don't think she looks very happy about it, does she? He's smiling, but I don't think the little girl is smiling. It's a nice little picture of a dog and a little boy in a box. A baby, and another picture of the little girl. She's got her hat and her mittens on and her coat, but she's definitely not happy about what's going on, is she? Here's the first picture. Excuse me. One morning, Lily's mom did not want to get up. She just lay there with her eyes closed. She said that her head ached and her throat was sore and she felt hot and shivery all over. Have you ever felt like that? It is not a nice feeling, is it? Just not a nice feeling. And when moms get that way, well, then the rest of the family sometimes doesn't quite know what to do. When a mom or a dad is sick, then everybody else doesn't, they just don't know what to do they? So we have here the little girl. We've now found out that her name is Lily, right? Because it was talking about Lily's mom, and Lily is here. She's got some books and she's got her little stuffy. And here's Lily's dad. He's got his slippers on, so we know that it's probably early in the morning, and he's holding, looks like a nice cup of coffee or tea. Maybe he was bringing it for Lily's mom, or it's for himself. But she does not want to get up because she feels too sick. Mom has the flu, Dad said as he gave Lily her breakfast. She needs to stay in bed today, and I have to go to work. He looked worried. Who will look after me then? Lily wanted to know. Well, that is an important question for her to want to have an answer for, isn't it? If her mother is not going to be well, then, and her dad has to go to work, well then, who's going to be watching Lily? What is Lily eating for her breakfast? Can you tell? Can you see her egg? She has an egg here. And I think this is some bread that she's eating pieces of. Dad was already on the phone. When he hung up, he said, "Guess what? You're going to play at Melanie's house. Won't that be fun?" "Who's Melanie?" asked Lily. "You remember Melanie. You've been to her house before. She lives just near here on Wesley Avenue. She has a big boy named Jack and a baby named Sam." "I've dropped the yellow bit of my egg on the floor," was all Lily said. Dad looks kind of happy and relieved because now he knows that there's someone who can watch Lily and take care of her while he's at work. Lily doesn't look like she knows what to make of the situation. She's not wanting to think about it, is she? She's just thinking about the eggs she dropped. It can be scary to go to somebody's house that you don't know or you don't remember. There's the picture we saw from the front with Lily ready to go but not happy. There will be lots of nice toys to play with, Dad said. He wiped Lily's mouth and mopped the floor. Then he buttoned her into her jacket and put on her hat and mittens. Don't want to go, said Lily. I'll take you in the stroller. It will be quicker, said Dad as he tucked Bobo in beside her. Off we go, he said in a very jolly voice. They were just turning onto Wesley Avenue when Dad discovered that Lily's mittens were gone. I'm sure we put them on before we left the house, he said. Well, now we know what Lily's special Stuffy's name is, right? Dad said that the Stuffy's name was Bobo, right? And there she is in her stroller. Where are her mittens? They're not on her hand, are they? Do you see them? Somehow they dropped off of her hands. I wonder what happened with that. He turned the stroller around. They were halfway home before they found the mittens. Dad picked them up and put them back on Lily's hands. Then he pushed the stroller full steam ahead till they reached Melanie's front door. So there they are at Melanie's front door. Can you see enough of the picture? There we go. That's a little better, isn't it? It was a yellow door, the color of the inside of Lily's egg. Here we are, said Dad. Don't want to go, said Lily. She went all stiff and would not get out of the stroller. But just then the door opened and there was Melanie with a smiling face, holding baby Sam. He said, "Da," and held out his fat little hand to Lily in a friendly way. What do you think that felt like to Lily? How do you think that made her feel? Melanie is smiling at her, and Sam, the baby, is smiling at her, and he's holding his hand out to her. Do you suppose that made her feel a little bit better? They're smiling and they're happy to see her. I think that would make me feel a little better. Still scary to go to somebody's house if you don't know them or don't remember them. Lily and Dad stepped into Melanie's hall. Lily was clutching Bobo very tightly. I think it was a good idea for Lily to bring her stuffed dog, don't you think? Dad knelt down. He took off Lily's hat and mittens and gave her a big hug. Have a good time, darling, he said. I'll finish work early. Don't want to stay, said Lily in a tiny voice. Sounds like she is feeling rather scared, isn't she? Does she look scared in her face? I think so. As the door closed on Dad, Lily opened her mouth to give a big yell. But at that moment, a little dog ran into the hall. He was white with brown ears and patches. He ran straight up to Lily and licked her hand. Lily liked that. Let's see if we can see the dog in the picture. There he is. The doggy coming It's a nice little dog, isn't it? The dog is coming to see Lily. Lily has her pretend dog, but this one is a real dog, isn't it? Lily liked that. She decided not to yell after all. His name's Ringo, Melanie told her, and it looks as though he likes you a lot. Well, that's a nice thing, isn't it? Melanie was friendly, Baby was friendly, and now the doggy's friendly. They all went into the kitchen. It was warm in there. Ringo's basket was in the corner. Melanie put Sam in his high chair. Sam's going to have some toast and jam. Would you like some? She asked. Don't want toast, said Lily. She forgot to say thank you. While Sam sat in his chair and ate toast and jam, Lily and Bobo sat. Do you know where they sat? They sat under the table. Oh my. You see them there? There's the doggy Ringo in the basket. And there's Lily holding her Bobo, her dog, very tightly. And there's Sam having his breakfast in his high chair. When Sam was done, Melanie lifted him out of his high chair and put him on the floor because he was a crawling baby. Sam wanted to play. What do you think he's playing? Sam wanted to play peekaboo with Lily. Is that what you guessed? It looks like peekaboo, doesn't it? And Lily couldn't help laughing because he was so funny. When Sam was tired, Melanie took him upstairs for a nap. Then she spread some magazine pictures across the kitchen table. She fetched some glue and a big scrapbook. Would you like to do some pasting? She asked. No, thank you, said Lily. Well, she felt a little bit better, didn't she? Because she remembered to say thank you. Well, perhaps you would like to help me choose then, said Melanie. See, they're sitting here at the table and they have a lot of different brightly colored pictures in front of them. And this looks like maybe it's the glue, right? The paste. They're choosing some pictures. That looks like a fun thing to do, doesn't it? So Lily chose where the different pictures were to go. She chose a piece of cake on a lady's head, and a rabbit riding on a fish, a shiny red car in a bed, and a building balancing on a chest of drawers. When they had finished, it was a very interesting book. You can show it to your dad when he comes to collect you, said Melanie. Isn't that funny? Sam's awake again, isn't he? Sam was cross when he woke up. Tears trickled down his cheeks and his mouth was a miserable O shape, showing 2 tiny teeth. But when he caught sight of Lily, he stopped crying little by little and began to hiccup instead. He won't do that for me, said Melanie. Thank you, Lily. Good job, Lily. She was able to help with the baby, wasn't she? Thank you, Lily. At lunchtime, Lily helped to spoon food into Sam's mouth. A lot went into the wrong places, but Sam did not seem to mind. Let's see if we can see up close. Is he getting a little bit messy? He is, isn't he? But Lily's trying very hard and being very helpful. There's somebody else in the picture who might not mind if Sam is messy. Can you tell who that is? Do you see the dog? Ringo? Ringo might not mind if Sam's messy. If Sam drops some food on the floor, I bet Ringo would like to eat it. That's often what doggies do if there's a baby around. Soon it was time to pick up Sam's big brother Jack from school. Don't want to, began Lily, but Melanie said quickly, Ringo's coming too, and you can help hold his leash, if you like. Oh, well, that sounds like a good distraction, a good thing, fun thing to do, doesn't it? Baby Sam is already in his stroller. Lily has her coat on. And Melanie's trying to get the dog's leash on, isn't she? So Lily held Ringo while Melanie fixed the leash onto his collar. Lily helped hold on to Ringo all the way to Jack's school. Sometimes he pulled on the leash and wanted to run ahead so badly that they could hardly keep up with him. Is he pulling here? And sometimes he wanted to stop and sniff around. There, they can all have a little bit of a rest while they wait for Ringo to sniff something. They all had to run very fast the last bit to get there in time. There they go, the last bit they had to go very fast to get there on time. Look at all the big kids coming out of school. And Lily's holding on to Ringo. Ringo's pulling very hard, isn't he? What is Ringo getting so excited about? Shall we see? Oh, there's somebody Ringo's happy to see. I bet that's Jack. It's another dog that came too. I bet that's Jack. Ringo's very excited to see him, isn't he? Ringo went nearly crazy with joy when Jack came running out of the school. Jack had curly hair and a beautiful smile with no front teeth. Do you know why he had no front teeth? When boys and girls are about 5 or 6 years old, they start losing all of their baby teeth. They just fall right out of their mouths. It's kind of a funny time. For a couple of years, your baby teeth fall out of your mouth, and big adult teeth grow in their place. So you end up with a mouthful of big adult teeth instead of those baby teeth. The baby teeth worked very well for a few years, but they wouldn't fit in an adult's mouth. They'd be too small. So Jack has apparently lost his front teeth. Lily's doing a good job holding on to Ringo. He's so excited, isn't he? When they got back, Jack made some cardboard boxes into boats, and they pretended that Lily and Sam and Bobo were sailing far out to sea. Ringo stayed on the seashore and kept a lookout. Good job, Ringo. So there's Bobo's box. He's in this boat, getting ready to sail out to sea. And oh no, I'm sorry. That's another dog. That must be Jack's dog, his little stuffy dog. Because here's Bobo. There we go, right here. And there's Lily in her boat. She's got a pirate boat. See that pirate flag? And here's a couple of small boats. And then Sam has his own boat. Okay, cardboard boats. Those are good ideas to play. Then they sat together on the sofa and watched television, all except Sam, who played on the floor. Ringo lay between Jack and Lily with his head on Lily's lap. While they were sitting there, the doorbell rang. When Melanie went to answer it, Lily heard Dad's voice in the hall. So there's Jack and Ringo in the middle, and Lily, and Bobo's there watching too. Do you see him? And here's baby Sam on the floor, playing with his toys. And there's, Melanie and Dad. Dad's done work and he's come back to pick up Lily. You've been having a great time, I hear, he said, putting his head around the sitting room door. I've come to collect you as promised. And he held out Lily's jacket. What do you think she's going to say? But Lily snuggled deeper into the sofa and hugged Ringo to her chest. Don't want to go, she said. Now she's having such a nice time that she doesn't want to leave. Lily, you're being silly. Time to go home and see if your mama's feeling better. It's nice that she had such a good time though, isn't it? All right, I hope you enjoyed that story. I love you. Bye.